Hello folks and welcome to the Vertigo Tea Party and let's try Waterpark Tycoon. It's developed by Astragon, published by Excalibur. You can pick it up for 9.99 British pounds on their website, which probably comes out to be about $14 or $15 US. It is PC only. So let's hop right in. I'm going to start with the free play. Normally what I do with these types of games is I'll show you the very beginning where I start creating the park, and then I'll load a game that I've already started. So first of all, it needs to be pointed out that I love this type of game. The whole city builder slash park slash tycoon type game in general. I like the idea, love the idea actually. So keep that in mind when we go forward. So here we go. We start with a big empty canvas here to paint our water park on. See how very romantic that make that. So very first thing we want to do is let's get the changing rooms down. And I'm going to kind of blow through this very quickly, and I'm going to do that for a reason. And I'll kind of explain things as we go along. So first we got a changing room. We got to get people out of their normal clothes and into their swimming trunks and what have you. We got some showers to shower off, which always seemed weird to me for a water park, but I understand the reasoning. It's just amusing slash ironic. I don't know what it is. So we got all our essentials. We got restroom, we got showers, we got a changing room. And since this is a water park, let's make a pool to start with. Now you have 3 different pools you can make. Basically, the only difference is how deep they are. They have the 4-foot deep pool, the 6-foot 6-inch deep pool, and the 13-foot pool. Now we're going to start with the 4-foot pool. And now you might be thinking, well, maybe it was just me that was thinking this. But initially I was like, well, why would I want to start there? That's the kiddie pool, right? Well, yes and no. The shallowest pool is probably the one that's used the most. Now here's the pool creating tool. Now what's interesting about this is you can make this like any kind of, you know, dimensions you want. Some wacky ass looking pools. So, which is a cool, I like that feature. And we're not going to go to the far right of the edge here. And I will go into why that is in just a bit. We're actually going to come just short of everything and create a little Tetris block. Afterwards, I do like this feature as well, that you can move the little nubs to get it just how you like. That looks good. We're going to say okay. $486, sure thing. So we've got that started. Let's go ahead and open the park. I think that's good enough. We're going to go ahead and open the park up for visitors. There's not going to be a lot for them to do just yet. By the time they get here and we get set up, they'll have enough to get started. So we got a ladder in the pool. Now you don't have to have the ladder in the pool. Your people aren't going to die. This isn't Sims. People actually know how to get out of a pool without a ladder. So the next thing we want to do is we're going to add some stuff to this pool, kind of spice it up. So first we're going to add these little rock things with the showers coming down. We're going to add these hydro jets. Now this is why I didn't put to the very edge of the screen, because these things, a lot of these ornaments that you could put on the side of the pool are counted as being outside the pool. Now it kind of makes sense for those things, but things like the massage jets, those are pretty much entirely in the pool. But if you put this right on the edge, the game will say that you can't build things there. In fact, yeah, objects can be directly placed on the edge of the map, which is kind of silly because this is actually less on the edge of the map than other objects. But anyway, we'll put some of these things here. And again, I will explain this a little bit more in depth and explain how I'm doing this in a bit, and you'll understand why in just a bit, why I'm kind of blowing through this portion. We got a water mushroom. Don't really have enough room to quite place it anywhere else, but that'll do for now. So the next thing we want, of course, is because this is what our visitors want, aka this makes us money, is our expected little shops. The fry shop, the burger shop, oh god, that was not what I meant to do. Just delete this. I don't think you get your money back when you delete an object. I don't think. But one thing the game does not tell you is how to rotate objects. You actually have to hold shift and move the mouse wheel. Now that's one other thing I'll mention while I'm kind of placing this. These are just like your burger stand, your fry stand. I'm going to make a cotton candy. Oddly enough, you don't start with, I don't think you have a drink machine at all. Oh, this is the soft drink vendor, my mistake. So it's the French fry vendor, soft drinks, and cotton candy are what you start out being able to make, which again is an important point that I'm going to highlight here very shortly. I feel like the tutorial did a very poor job of teaching you the interface. The little things like it doesn't teach you how to rotate the buildings, other things like that. Alright, so people are starting to get mad because we don't have trash cans, so we're going to hop in here. So you might also be thinking, well, why don't you pause this while you kind of get caught up? Well, you cannot pause, or you cannot pause time in this game other than like hitting escape or something like that, which is a bit of a burden. But so people need a place to sit and eat. So let's go ahead and quickly get them some benches. I like to kind of mix and match here. First, we get some wooden tables. I'm going to spread them out fairly well. And again, you'll understand why that is in just a bit. And I know some of you probably thinking, whoa, 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 all right, slow down, slow down. Kind of explain what you're doing. Again, I'll do that in a bit. And again, I'm trying to explain it kind of as I go along. But again, it will all make sense soon enough. So I spread them out. Why did I do that? I should be squeezing them together for maximizing. Well, people in this game, or at least your visitors in this game, are very keen on atmosphere. And by atmosphere, we mostly just mean plants, which brings me to one of my first complaints, is that there's not enough atmosphere type things to build. Like pretty much it's plants. It's just different types of plants. You got palm trees, ornamental trees, flower pots. Later on, you can build cannons and fountains, but you have to beat the gold mission first to unlock being able to do that. And we're in free play, so it's impossible to unlock that in free play, which seems kind of bad to me. In theory, I think it's interesting that you can unlock things by doing the quests or the missions or whatever. But the problem is this game has such a limited number of things to build in the first place. On top of that, placing limitations on what you can make makes it even worse. Like, I couldn't make flower pots and flower beds when I very first started. I had to finish the bronze mission, which didn't take long, but it's kind of beside the point. You see what I'm saying? So the paths don't seem to make a lot of difference. I don't think you actually even have to make paths. I think they're mostly for you to kind of help you keep things in order. But they seem to mostly ignore the path, which to me is actually mostly a good thing, because I think in a lot of games, the AI is too tied to paths, and a lot of times they won't get off the paths, and it's logically doesn't really make a lot of sense. So we're going to put a few attractions. Now, attractions are like the non-water themed things that people can do. So we're going to put some seesaw dolphins over here. Again, I'm going to keep them kind of spread out, because even the children care a lot about ornamentation and atmosphere and what have you. So we got some seesaws. We got hippo seesaws and dolphin seesaws. We're going to do some horizontal bars here that they can play on. Again, I'm assuming mostly children play this. I haven't really looked at it in detail. We also have some swings. I'm going to put the swings over here. I want to keep people by the food and the drinks and the cotton candy. Because I'm a vicious capitalist. And I want to manipulate people into buying more things to get me more money so I can build more things, so I can bring more people in, so I can make more money. That's how all these games work. You know that. Don't judge me. Don't you dare judge me. So that's all the attractions that we can build right now. You can see we're limited by stars here, 3 and 4 stars. So what does that mean? If you look at the top right here, this is your overall rating. Right now I'm at 0 stars because we just started. Even though for some reason I'm at 1 star, which I don't quite understand. I'll have to look at that in just a bit. So the next thing we need to do is let's go ahead and start hiring some employees to keep the park nice and clean. So we have gardeners. Oh, an accident happened. I was beat to the punch there. Basically, accidents happen in the pool if there's no lifeguard. And I hadn't had a chance to get to the lifeguard yet because I was explaining things. So let's go ahead and do that first. Build a lifeguard chair. Oh, the green area indicates the area that they can cover. So I'm actually going to put him over here a bit. Well, nope, it won't work. I don't like how it's just grid-based here. It should just move smoothly when you move. But you only really need these folks guarding the pools themselves. So we have the lifeguard chair, but no lifeguard. So let's go back into the employees screen that shows you all the employees. We don't have any gardeners, so let's go ahead and hire a gardener. Let's hire a cleaner to keep things clean, and a pool attendant, aka a lifeguard, as we know them in the US. You can adjust their wages over here. I always just leave them there. I don't know if there's a point in raising or lowering them, obviously, other than making more money if you lower their wages. But yeah, this is the employee screen. We'll go over this here very quickly. This obviously shows you all your employees. Now, one thing that's very bizarre is gardeners, as you would expect, water your plants. They also empty the trash cans. So because at first I was hiring more cleaners, and I was like, why in the world are these garbage cans not being cleaned out? Well, if you look down here, it says last time checked by a gardener. I was like, wait, what? Why would the gardener check that? Well, apparently that's why they the ones who stuck with cleaning them out. You also see this like fog that starts appearing if the trash cans start to get. Actually, no, I guess that was not. Oh no, it was the gardener was cleaning it out. You can also, like, when a trash can starts to get full, it gets like a toxic fume around it, so you know that, hey, this is bad. You need to get some gardeners on this. And let's see, what was the other employees? We had the gardeners, the cleaners. The cleaners, as far as I can tell, I think they just clean the changing rooms and the changing rooms, the restrooms, and the pools. I think they keep the pools themselves clean as well, because you are rated on how clean you keep the pools. I've never had a dirty pool, so I don't know. And maybe they just thought the cleaners were doing too much, so they gave the gardening to these folks. I don't know. I'm gonna go ahead and put another trash can up here because these people keep complaining about trash cans, even though there's one right here. People are incredibly lazy, both in-game and out. So we have some basic attractions. In fact, we have all the attractions that we can possibly build at this star level. We have all of the general buildings we can make. We have the burger, soft drinks, all that. The seating, we're probably doing pretty okay on seating, but people tend to complain about that a lot. So I'm going to build a few benches here. Now, one thing I like is that you can actually build a lot of times on the road itself. A lot of times the road doesn't seem to obstruct your ability to build things, which is quite interesting because a lot of games is like with the roads there, you can't build anything on it at all. So it's a nice change. I'm going to go ahead and spruce this area up. You can click over here on the show and hide ambiance screen, and as you can see, well, you may or may not be able to see, it's not a whole lot different. The area is getting darker green. So it says you earned 1 star in the park rating. You did very well, and an entrepreneur decided to give you financial support of amount of 500 pounds. So apparently entrepreneurs are just like, hey, I've got this money, I'm going to give it to you. I'm not investing it, I'm just giving you the money. Go figure. Anyway, so we want to get as much area as dark green as possible, especially areas that people sit and hang out for any amount of time, because that tends to make them happier. So you've got a bunch of trees here. They're pretty happy. Let's get some stuff by the pool too. Now, different items have different ambiance levels, like these are ambiance 10. And palm trees and whatnot are more ambience, but as you can imagine, they're also more expensive. So we've already got the we'll call it the kiddie pool, even though it's not really what it turns out to be in this game. But let's go ahead and make the 6-foot deep pool. We'll go ahead and make that over here. And again, as before, we'll kind of leave a little bit of extra room. And let's go ahead and we'll make it kind of warp around here. Let's give it an interesting shape. Say okay. Obviously, your pool, the price is going to be based on how big it is. Now, we can't go into negatives on purpose here. We don't have enough money, so we're going to say no. We're going to go into the finance screen. This breaks down your finances. It does a pretty good job showing you where your money's going out, where your money's coming in. Though honestly, there's not really a lot of things to track. Like for example, your burger joint and your soda joint, I don't think they have costs other than the actual cost of the employee to run it. There's not like materials cost and what have you, which I think is actually a negative. And again, we'll go into that in just a little bit. Anyway, let's go ahead and take out a little bit of a loan. £1,000. Monthly expense 40 pounds. That's okay. I tend to take out a lot of money early on to get stuff built, because otherwise it takes a long time to build, because there are no speed controls. You cannot speed up time. You cannot slow down time. You cannot pause time other than escaping. So that's kind of a bummer, and we'll definitely go into why that is in a bit. So first thing, let's go ahead and give a ladder. Ladders to get out. So, we want them to get out kind of over here where the more rides are, and there's this delicious food and drink that they need to purchase. So let's go ahead and start putting objects in here. Well, wait a minute. We can't put the mushroom in here. Oh, the pool is too deep for this object. Here's a big issue I have with this game. And quite frankly, spoiler alert, I have a lot of problems with this game. A lot of these objects can only be placed in specific depths of pools. And all of these things, the water mushroom, the massage splash, the adventure waterfall, and the massage jet can all only be put in the lowest possible depth of pool. So as you can see, that's about half of the objects that we can actually put in a pool is the shallow pool. So from my experience, you want multiple and or very large shallow pools more than anything else by a somewhat significant margin. Now, to be fair, I like how it tells you it's a good time to save. The game doesn't autosave, doesn't have any kind of autosave, which is weird. Instead, it just pops up and says, hey, you probably should save, which is really weird. But anyway, now, to be fair, there are other things like slides that can be used in bigger pools. But for the most part, most of the cool like objects, and let's be honest, a lot of the things we like about these types of games is that there's a lot of interesting things you can build and a lot of upgrades and whatnot you can do. So it's kind of sucky that a lot of this stuff is only usable in the most shallow pool. But all that out of the aside, what can we use in this pool right now? Well, we can use diving boards. So the smart, safe thing would be, of course, to put the diving pools right here and put them together because, hey, why not? We can also use the slide. We can use this big slide. Now, there's going to be a bit of a walk for folks, but that's all right. They'll get used to it. We'll go ahead and put a slide in here. We can put it all together. It's okay. It's not going to hurt anything. We'll go ahead and also, before I forget, get a lifeguard station here. Now, you can't cover everything quite. Well, actually, if we put him right here, I think we can. Sure, he's taking up value, and we'll just put him back. That way he's not taking up valuable real estate. And now we'll hire a pool attendant. Close that out. And right now, we can't even use this elephant slide. We can have to use elephant slide here, though, which again kind of goes right back to these shallow pools being seemingly the most useful. So we've got those pools. We've built all our attractions. We built all of our service type buildings, benches and whatnot. What I also like to do is I like to have some deck chairs with umbrellas. I like to have them by the pool. I don't think the pools provide any ambiance themselves, which I think is kind of silly because, one of the things people like to do is, sit in the bench chair, look out on the pool and relax and hang out. So I think the pools themselves should probably have some kind of base ambiance that they give off that gives you a reason to want to, sit in by the pool. So we're out of money again, so I'm going to take out another loan, which to me is totally worth it because we need it to grow faster. So let's see. We've made all the different pool objects that we can make so far. We've made one of each slide. Of course, we can add some more slides over here if we'd like. This lifeguard we get out of the way. God, they're such killjoys, aren't they? And we're pretty much built everything that we can build here, I think. And this is part of one of my big problems with the game. I don't have a huge issue with locking objects behind things like star ratings. In other words, you got to get your park X large before you can build it. Other games like this will make it so that you have to research the items, and that takes time, which I actually like that method better because then you can make the choice of, okay, I'm going to focus on research, or do I want to build the stuff that I can first and then maybe not put as much money and time to research. It's an actual player decision. And this, you just get higher star ratings just by trying to make more money and building your park as you naturally would, and then waiting on your star rating to go up. This is a big problem to me because now I don't have anything to do. Now here's another thing. I'm at 1 star right now. I'll get 2 star. I'll be 2 star at 30%, which is in other words double what I'm at now. And we'll go over how the park is rated in just a second. But look at this. Everything I can build, 3 stars, 4 stars, 4 stars, 3 stars, 4, 3 stars, 4 stars. So even when I wait until I get to 30%, which again, remember, I don't have any kind of time controls, I still have to wait until we get to 50% before I can build anything else. Anything. So going forward, the only thing I can do is either A, wait for my rating to go up, or B, just keep making the same things over and over again, making more pools, adding more water mushrooms and slides and all of this. So that's not particularly interesting. Again, I feel like I'm speaking for a lot of folks like myself with these type of games. Is part of it is a management aspect, right? It's fun trying to manage making people happy, making your employees happy, while still making a positive revenue so that you can grow the park, expand the park, make better items, make a fun, cool looking park, while still staying profitable and making everyone happy. Here we've had a dead end, right? We've run out of things, new things, interesting things to make because everything is locked behind the star rating. We don't have a time control. And like I said, there's just no way to speed up time. So I feel like this is a huge negative because like I said, I don't want to just keep making the same things over and over again. And the other problem is, of course, money coming in. And now you can do things like, for example, I can go to the main water park overview and we'll go over all the menu screens in a bit. And I can do something like a promotional campaign. I can either the local promotion or extensive promotion. Now, early on, I found the extensive promotion not worth it because you can look down here and we'll actually just go ahead and go over this since I've got it open anyway. You can look down here and see, you know, how many visitors you have. We got a +5 because our park rating. We don't have anybody coming in due to marketing because, well, we're not marketing right now. We've lost a potential customer because of our entrance fee, which we're already not making enough money. So I'm not going to lower my fee just to get like the occasional person. We're not losing anybody because of accidents. You got to have the lifeguards to prevent accidents because if you have accidents, people don't show up. Well, now that one person's angry because I guess we had an accident in the past. But eventually that just goes away. And the accident's so incredibly easy to prevent. You just hire a lifeguard and boom, you're done. Like there's no further thinking about it. It's very easy to avoid accidents. So I found early on if I do extensive promotion and it's 150 pounds, I might get one more person coming in. Not worth it. I always do the local. Even then, maybe not worth it. See, I got 2 people just right now anyway. So, there's that. Now this is how your overall rating is calculated. And it's now I think this is an interesting idea the way they do this. And I like how things are not evenly weighed. I like how things are more realistically weighed. So attractions count for a significant part of what people think of your park, which makes sense, right? People aren't going to say, well, I really love the rides. The rides are amazing, but you know, they didn't have, I don't know, a cotton candy vendor, so this place sucks, right? It's not gonna be weighed evenly. So I think it's just smart that the attractions are the heaviest weighed. So, and it breaks it down here: giant slide, other slides, diving boards, playground devices. See, the problem is with things like this, giant slides. I can't have any giant slides. They're not unlocked yet. So I don't. In fact, I'm almost positive. Yeah, the bigger slides, like the giant slide specifically. But I think water slide and the aqua boomerang both count as giant slides, so that's a little confusing. They don't unlock until later. So obviously my rating is going to be hurt because I can't even build them because of the star rating, right? I need higher attraction percentage so I can build giant slides, but I need giant slides so I can get a higher attraction rating. So what you have to do in the meantime basically is just make a bunch of diving boards, make a bunch of other slides and all these other playground devices to kind of artificially pump up our attraction score. Pool design, water quality, pretty much always high as long as you have cleaners. And pool objects, again, this is kind of just spamming a bunch of pool objects. And what do you need to have more pool objects? You need more smaller pools because you can't have many objects at all in the larger pools, in the deeper pools, I should say. Catering, here's another problem. The food apparently has a food quality on it. Like you can see down here, the current quality of this article, it's a sideways thumb, so I guess that's mediocre. I have no idea how to make the quality of the food better. If I pay the employee more, does that make the quality better? I don't know. I haven't found any indication of that. I know that if I pay a employee more, their efficiency goes up, but I don't know if that affects the quality at all. Ambience, of course, like I said, is quite important for individual people's happiness. Even though it says it's only ×1, it still seems to affect people's like little frowny faces and whatnot. Facilities, I don't understand this. Like it's very clean and I'm pretty sure I have enough for everyone. There's not lines for them and they don't have to walk that far to get to them. So I don't understand why that's not just higher automatically. I don't know. You can also close the water park, which I don't really see the point of other than the very beginning of the game where you're getting things set up. Obviously the local promotion, I'm going to start another one. You can see here that the promotion's running. It's cool that they show you that it's running, but I wish you could just say, leave this on, like pay for it every month because it's a pain that, oh, it's over. I got to remember to come back in here and turn it off. Let's look at the financial overview again, just very quickly. You can see your, expenses, where all the expenses are coming from, and where all your revenue is coming from. Again, not really a whole lot to show here. It shows what it needs to show, but there's not a lot of financial depth, right? In that, for example, I can't pay more. In other games, like for example, maybe I could have garlic fries and seasoned fries. It costs me more money to offer that, but it might be worth it because I might sell more, right? So there's no reason to even break that kind of thing down because it doesn't even exist. They were entrance free and our prices for articles, which is basically what they consider, food, drink, ice cream, goodies, coffee, etc. You can't control it on an individual basis, which, all right, whatever, I guess. So what I've been doing is I pump up the entrance fee whenever I go up a star level, pretty much. So I go ahead and bring this up to moderate. Now, people are going to complain about the price, but I found if you do it by star level, up to at least star level 4, it ends up being a profit, a gain. So just ignore the complaining. Here you can see your employees. You can see how many you have. You can see their saturation. Once the saturation starts to get low, you probably want to hire some more. Again, the wages, I don't know the point of hiring them more other than it makes them more efficient, which I don't know how the game judges efficiency. If they just work faster, if the products they make are better, I don't know. It's not really explained. So here's our visitors. It just gives, their general actions, which frankly is not very useful. Just a general whatever. What I'd prefer to see is something like, okay, if a lot of people have, for example, complained about Ambience, I'd like to see that listed here, like top 3 complaints or top 5 complaints or common thoughts of visitors right now. So for example, maybe there's a trash can that needs to be emptied. All of a sudden, boom, I've got a bunch of people complaining about trash cans. I know I can need, go look at that. Instead, it's just very general, like what every single person is doing. Not very useful. Obviously, the bars are nice to show their overall happiness, but just generally what they're doing isn't that great. Or like I say, maybe we have a massage area. Oh, the water massage. I was like, I didn't know we had a masseuse here. What the hell's going on? That's not an employee. But yeah, I'd like to see more details there. This is the quest screen. Now we're on free play, so there's no quests, so that doesn't really matter. And we will be loading up another area that I have here in just a bit because I think I've talked about pretty much everything I wanted to talk about here. And there's other things here. You can show accidents, basically the danger of accidents. I've never had an accident in these types of areas. I only put lifeguards by the pool, and that seems to have worked out for me so far. You can also see the overall ambience. I like being able to flip that on and off so I can quickly see areas that need to be improved. Also, you notice like the little happiness meters. That seems to correlate more to they just had a very happy thought. Like this is happy, and the mouth open means I'm mega happy. Or I've had a mega happy thought, but this person's had a very unhappy thought. If you click on it, it says the place is too expensive. Probably complaining because they just bought some food. Well, too damn bad. We are a 1-star resort now, ma'am. You just have to get over it. But I do like that. I like that it pops up when they recently had like a very happy or a very unhappy thought. So you can click on it and say, oh, maybe there's a problem in this area. And it does have icons like this. Like this person doesn't have a place to sit because we've run out of benches because we haven't built more. So let's give this person a place to sit. Just real quick. I don't know why I'm bothering because we're going to leave this map very soon. But let's turn that off. And just other general information here. I think this is, you can show or hide their opinions, which I always want to see it. This shows the total number of visitors at the moment plus rush of visitors, which I'm assuming that just means from advertising and things like that. Speaking of, I think we're getting big enough. Let's do the extensive promotion, which only brings in 5 people. So, Anyway, that's the basics. Let's go ahead and go out of here, and we're going to go to the main menu. And I want to give my final thoughts, but I'm also going to show you my main game. I'm not going to bother saving this one. I gotta say, overall, I'm definitely disappointed with this. To be totally honest with you, this feels like it should be on Steam Early Access, like beta type early access, where they're like, hey, we're getting the basics down. We're going to be adding more objects later. We're going to be adding more attractions. We're going to be adding some other things. And I I don't feel like, even for a low price, I don't feel like this is a game for folks who are interested in doing this type of thing. Unless you are just absolutely hardcore, I really, really, really want to make specifically a water park. Then maybe, but again, it's just so very simplistic. And keep in mind, this is not an ideal design by any stretch. This is when I was still kind of learning how to set things up and what have you. This is actually the second mission. So you can actually see here my quest needs. I'm actually built, or I've done everything except the reach 8,000 pounds in savings. But this is it. This is pretty much every single object that you can make outside of the beautification type objects. And the only other thing that I can make that I didn't, what was it? Was this, the aqua boomerang, which is quite large, and I thought I could use with the deep pool, but nope, guess what? It's shallow pool only. So way too much stuff for the shallow pool, in my opinion. So it seems like it's going to be your shallow pools are going to what you have the most, and then you have a few larger, deeper pools for things like, you know, the slides and what have you. But yeah, way too much stuff. Basically, the only thing a large pool seems to be able to support is the high diving boards, or diving boards at all, of course. And I try to make this, I try to kind of go with a theme here. I try to go, oh, this is kind of like the beach area. So I put a bunch of beach everywhere, which again, doesn't seem to actually increase the ambience or anything. That was more of a personal visual style. This isn't part of the water. This is like a standalone attraction that I unlocked at 4 stars. But yeah, I was kind of going for the whole beach thing. Got the palm trees and the, you know, the seats with the umbrellas and all that. But later you get like a, you know, sea snake, and I like this kind of stuff. Like, I really do. Like, again, as somebody who likes this, it's not just the managerial aspect. It's just seeing the cool little things that you can build, and just, you know, hours later taking nothing. Like, we started with that big green canvas, and now, you know, we got all these cool attractions, and people are enjoying them, and you get to watch them do the things. But like I say, this is it. I've built everything. I've built every single thing, barring, again, one thing, the aqua slide. And of course, you know, some of the terrain, which one, I just didn't build it, or 2, I haven't unlocked it because I haven't built those or beat those quests yet. Like, I can't make this table with sunshade and a wooden bench, or these fountain and this cannon until I beat these specific, you know, missions. So I just feel like, the game is just very much falls short. To me, it feels like it was incomplete. It feels like it was just kind of like thrown together and thrown out. There's a lot of little things. For example, and a lot of this is going to sound like nitpicking, because it is, but it's death by 1,000 paper cuts. It's not, it just seems like I said the game was rushed out. Look at this. Like, for example, it says back to main menu. That's lowercase. Everything else is uppercase. Again, oh, well, that's very much nitpicking. Well, it's still, again, it's just one of 1,000 little things. And one thing I should have mentioned earlier, notice this. Hold on, let me go into the options just to underscore my point. Well, one, the music's at 0%, but you can still hear it. But listen. Nothing. There's no sound at all. There's no people talking, playing in the water sounds, anything. No water sounds. None. Like, what's funny is I didn't notice it at first. I just really didn't notice it, just because the music was just so there. And I realized, it's like, well, wait a minute. There's no sounds for anything. There's no people playing and splashing, and like, that's crazy to me. Like, how do you have no game sounds, just music? That's why I say it just really feels like this game is just half done. That's why I say it feels like early access. Like, there's just bare bones enough to get started. I feel like, okay, I'm starting to get started now. Now what kind of cool stuff can I do? But no, that's it. Like, this is pretty much it. Again, obviously you can just keep building and, you know, make more pools, but you keep putting the same things in there, and there's no new really managerial type challenges that you're going to run into, right? You just maybe need to start putting more bathrooms, more places to eat, which I've actually already did that. Like, I've already started to double up on the places that they can buy food. But there's nothing else. There's no more rides. There's no more attractions. There's nothing to research. I can't like try to bring in more expensive or more wealthy visitors by upgrading the type of, like, for example, the food and the settings and any kind of attractions. Where's my water shows? Where's my things like the the lazy creeks where people, just sit in and it's like they're pulled through the river. And where's all that kind of stuff? Like, it just seems like it's missing so much. And like I said, it's just kind of, I did have one crash as well. It runs fairly well, I guess, if I'm looking for positive things to say. It runs well, but I just, like I say, I'm pretty much done. Like, I've built everything, and other than to start to replicate everything, there's nothing else, which I've already started to do. Like I say, I've got like multiple pools with the same stuff in it. I've got, multiple trampolines, multiple this and that. So like I say, it's just kind of like, I'm done. Like, I feel like I've pretty much beat the game, and it's a shame because, again, I really love this genre. I love this type of tycoon game, and I really feel this game fell flat. And as far as suggesting this to, like, who would I suggest this game to? Honestly, no one. I don't think this game is a game worth picking up. I think there's tons and tons of other games like this, maybe not specifically Waterpark, that you should look into. Obviously, there's the old classics like, Rollercoaster Tycoon and a billion other tycoon games that are probably better, more in depth than this. People might argue, well, it's a low price point. And like I say, if you're just super hard up specifically to make a water park game, maybe consider it. But honestly, everyone else, I'm going to have to say, unless they add a whole bunch of depth to this, and by depth, I mean not just more rides or attractions, add, ability to upgrade things, like I say, the fry stand, be able to, offer more drinks, offer more, better ingredients so you can charge more and pull in more visitors and what have you. Adding game sounds would be great. Like, people enjoying themselves, things like that, talking, cheering, being mad, whatever. Just like I say, it's just very, very shallow, and which is a shame because I'd like to see, we'd really like to have seen this game being really fun. But unfortunately, it was fun at the beginning, but I just don't feel like it's worth your money. I think there's a lot of other simulation type games out there that you'd be better spending your money on. Anyway, that's it for Waterpark Tycoon. It is available for £9, 9.99 pounds on their website if you're still looking to purchase it. I will put all relevant links in the description below the video if you want to check it out for yourself. Thank you again for watching. If you'd like to see more videos like this where I cover some games you might not have heard of, go ahead and subscribe if it please you. Follow me on Twitter, and I'll see you next time.
Step back though. We are getting this worked up about a mobile game.
I do hate you though. I want to be 100% clear with a moment of seriousness. I hate your guts.